Have you ever taken your car to a mechanic for something that felt off? Maybe a weird dashboard light, a rough idle, or a window that suddenly forgot how to work. And then they hit you with a bill for $200, $300, maybe even $500 just to tell you what was wrong? Well, what if I told you that most of those problems could have been solved in your own driveway in under 5 minutes without spending a single cent? Today, we are counting down 25 genius reset tricks that mechanics absolutely do not want you to know about, because once you learn these, you will never overpay for a simple fix again. If this helps you out, hit that like button and subscribe. All right, let us get into it. Number 25, the Battery Disconnect Master Reset. This is the granddaddy of all car resets, and it is embarrassingly simple. Turn off your car, pop the hood, and disconnect the negative battery terminal, that is, the black cable with the minus sign. Leave it disconnected for 15 to 30 minutes. That is literally the whole trick. Your car has dozens of tiny computer modules controlling everything from the engine to the air conditioning, and sometimes they just glitch out. They store bad data, hang on to old error codes, and start making decisions based on information that is no longer accurate. Cutting the power completely forces every single one of those modules to forget what it thinks it knows and start fresh from factory defaults. Mechanics call this a hard reset, and it is literally the first thing many of them do when you bring your car in. They disconnect your battery, wait a few minutes, reconnect it, and charge you $75 for a diagnostic. Here is a pro tip that most people miss. While the battery is disconnected, touch the two cable ends together for about 30 seconds. This drains any remaining power stored in the capacitors throughout the system, giving you an even deeper reset. Reconnect positive first, then negative. Your radio presets and clock will need reprogramming, but that is a small price to pay. Number 24. The Check Engine Light Eraser. That little orange light on the dashboard haunts millions of drivers. But here is the dirty secret of the automotive industry. About 70% of the time, the check engine light is triggered by something incredibly minor. A loose gas cap, a temporary sensor glitch, a hiccup in the emission system that already corrected itself. The light stays on because the computer stored the error code and nobody told it the problem was gone. You can grab a basic OBD2 scanner for about $20 online, plug it into the diagnostic port under your steering column on the driver's side, read the code, and clear it yourself in about 2 minutes. Write the code down, look it up online, and if it is something minor, just hit that clear button. If the underlying issue is genuinely fixed, the light stays off permanently. If it comes back within a few days of driving, then you know you have a real problem worth investigating. But more often than not, clearing that code is the end of the story. You just saved yourself the $100 diagnostic fee that shops love to charge. Number 23. The Throttle Body Relearn. If your car idles rough, hesitates when you step on the gas, or just feels sluggish and unresponsive, the throttle body probably needs to relearn its position. Carbon builds up inside the throttle body over time, and the computer compensates by adjusting how far it opens the throttle plate. But if you clean the throttle body or disconnect the battery, the computer still thinks all that carbon is there and keeps compensating for a problem that no longer exists. The relearn procedure is simple on most vehicles. Turn your ignition to the on position without starting the engine. Wait 10 seconds. Slowly press the gas pedal all the way to the floor and hold it there for 10 seconds. Release it and wait another 10 seconds. Turn the ignition off completely. Now start the engine and let it idle for about 10 minutes without touching the accelerator. The computer is recalibrating and learning the new throttle plate position. On some GM and Toyota models, you let the engine run 3 minutes, shut it off for 1 minute, then run 3 more minutes. Take the car for a short drive at varying speeds afterward. A mechanic would charge anywhere from $150 to $300 for a throttle body cleaning and relearn service. You just did the relearn portion for absolutely nothing. Number 22. The Tire Pressure Light Terminator. You checked all 4 tires. They are all at the correct PSI. And that stupid little warning light is still glowing at you from the dashboard like a tiny orange accusation. This drives people absolutely crazy, and mechanics love it, because it is an easy $40 to $60 charge for a 2-minute fix. Here is what you do. Make sure all tires, including the spare, are inflated to the manufacturer recommended pressure on the sticker inside your driver door jamb. Then drive at or above 50 miles per hour for 10 to 15 minutes. Many vehicles auto-reset after sustained driving at speed. If that does not do it, find the TPMS reset button, usually under the dashboard near the steering column. Turn the key to on without starting the engine, hold the button until the tire pressure light blinks 3 times, then release. Still nothing? Try the nuclear option. Inflate all 4 tires plus the spare to about 3 psi above recommended. Then deflate them completely. Reinflate to the correct pressure. This forces every single sensor to recalibrate from scratch and resets the entire monitoring system. Number 21. The Power Window Resurrection. Your battery dies overnight or you disconnect it for some reason, and suddenly your one-touch automatic windows have complete amnesia. They go up and down if you hold the switch, but the auto feature is gone. The window rolls up an inch and stops. Or it goes all the way up and then immediately reverses back down like it has a mind of its own. This happens because the window control module lost its programmed memory of where the top and bottom positions are, and the anti-pinch safety feature thinks there is an obstruction. Dealers will charge you $60 to $100 to reprogram this with their fancy scan tool. But the actual fix is laughably simple. Turn the ignition to on. Roll the window all the way down using the switch and hold the button down for 2 to 3 extra seconds after the window stops moving. Then pull the switch up to close the window completely and hold it up for 2 to 3 extra seconds after it reaches the top. That is it. You just taught the module where full open and full closed are. On some vehicles, you need to hold each position for 10 seconds instead. Repeat for each affected window. Takes roughly a minute per window. Number 20. The transmission, adaptive memory. Refresh. Your car has started shifting weird, hesitating between gears, shifting too hard, or clunking when it drops into drive. Before you panic about a transmission rebuild running $2,000 to $5,000, try this first. The Transmission Control Module, or TCM, learns your driving habits over time and adapts its shift points accordingly. But sometimes it adapts too far, or it learns bad habits from unusual conditions like heavy traffic, towing, or mountain driving. The shifts get sloppy and unpredictable. Disconnect the negative battery terminal for about 30 minutes. When you reconnect, the TCM returns to factory default shift settings. Now here is the critical second step most people skip. Drive the car normally for 15 to 20 minutes through a variety of speeds with smooth, gentle acceleration. Avoid any aggressive driving during this relearning period. Within about 50 miles, the shifts become noticeably smoother and more precise. The transmission was never broken, it just needed to forget everything and start fresh with clean data. Number 19. The Idle Air Volume Learning Reset Engine hunting at idle. RPMs bouncing up and down like a yo-yo between 500 and 1500. Car keeps stalling at red lights. This is the idle air volume learning procedure, and it is simpler than it sounds. Make sure the engine is fully warmed up to normal operating temperature, around 170 degrees or so. Turn the engine off. Turn the key to on without starting. Wait 10 seconds. Turn it off. Wait 10 seconds. Now start the engine and let it idle for a full 5 minutes without touching the gas pedal at all. The computer is counting and recalibrating the idle air volume. The RPMs might be slightly erratic at first, but they should settle into a smooth, steady idle within a few minutes. On Nissan and Infiniti vehicles, this is a well-documented procedure after any throttle body or intake work, and dealers regularly charge over $100 for it. It takes 5 minutes and exactly 0 tools. Number 18, the OBD2 fuse pull. Reset. No scanner and do not want to mess with the battery? There is a clever middle ground. Your car has a specific fuse dedicated to the engine control module, usually labeled ECM or EFI in the fuse box diagram. Check your owner manual for the exact location. Pull that fuse out, wait about 15 minutes, and pop it right back in. This resets the engine computer without touching your radio presets, clock settings, or seat memory positions. It is more targeted and less disruptive than a full battery disconnect. Particularly great for clearing a stubborn check engine light or resetting fuel trim values after you have already fixed a known issue. Mechanics use this exact method themselves when they want a quick ECU reset without the hassle of reprogramming all the customer's convenience settings afterward. Keep a fuse puller in your glove box. Most cars come with one tucked into the fuse box cover, and most people never even realize it is there. Number 17, the gas pedal dance reset. This sounds absolutely ridiculous, but it works on a surprising number of vehicles, particularly Toyotas, Nissans, and several European makes. No tools required whatsoever. Just you and your gas pedal. Sit in the driver's seat with the car not running. Turn the key to on without starting the engine. Fully press the accelerator pedal all the way to the floor and hold it for 10 full seconds. While still holding the pedal down, turn the ignition off completely. Wait a few seconds with your foot still on the pedal. Release. Now start the car. What you just did is tell the engine computer to recalibrate its throttle position sensor parameters. The ECU records the full range of pedal motion and resets its baseline measurements. This can fix hesitation during acceleration, poor throttle response, and even some check engine codes related to the throttle position sensor. It is not voodoo. It is a legitimate factory procedure that many dealership technicians perform and then bill you for half an hour of diagnostic labor time. Number 16, the sunroof recalibration. Your sunroof opens halfway and stops. It closes and then immediately pops back open. It only moves an inch at a time with every button press. Before you accept a dealer quote for motor replacement at $800, try this. Turn the ignition to on. Close the sunroof completely using the switch, then continue holding the close button for an additional 5 to 10 seconds after it stops moving. You might hear a slight noise or feel a subtle shift. Now open the sunroof completely and hold the button for 5 more seconds past its stopping point. Then cycle the sunroof from fully open to fully closed about 5 to 7 consecutive times. The control module is relearning its endpoint positions and recalibrating the anti-pinch obstacle detection thresholds. One dealer actually tried charging a customer over $500 to replace the overhead electronics console for a problem that this 30-second reset solved completely. Number 15. The steering angle sensor 0 point. Reset. ABS light, traction control light, and stability control light all blazing at once? Looks absolutely terrifying on the dashboard, like your car is falling apart. But very often the only thing wrong is the steering angle sensor lost its calibration. This sensor tells the stability system exactly where your wheels are pointing. It loses its zero reference after battery disconnects, wheel alignments, or even a hard pothole hit. On many vehicles, the reset is surprisingly easy. Start the car, make sure the steering wheel is perfectly centered, and drive in a straight line at about 15 to 25 miles per hour for a few minutes. The sensor recalibrates itself automatically. On others, turn the wheel all the way left, then all the way right, then back to center. The system finds its new zero. This alone can save you the $150 diagnostic and reset fee that shops charge to plug in a scanner and press one button. Number 14, the fuel trim reset. getting terrible gas mileage even though the car seems to run okay? Or experiencing hesitation and stumbling during acceleration? The fuel trims might be drifted. Fuel trims are adjustments the engine computer makes to the air-to-fuel ratio over time. When you fix an underlying issue like a vacuum leak or dirty air filter, the old fuel trim values stay stored and the computer keeps compensating for a problem that no longer exists. Clear the codes with an OBD2 scanner, then drive a complete drive cycle. Start cold, warm up, drive at city speeds, then highway speeds, then decelerate by coasting without braking. The computer recalculates from current sensor readings. Some drivers report gaining 2 to 4 miles per gallon simply by resetting fuel trims after routine maintenance like changing spark plugs or replacing the air filter. Number 13. The key fob reprogramming trick. Your key fob stopped working, new battery installed, and it still will not lock, unlock, or start the car. Before paying a locksmith or dealer $80 to $300, try this. Get in the car with all doors closed. Quickly cycle the ignition from off to on and back, several times in rapid succession. The magic number varies by brand. Ford typically needs 8 cycles within 10 seconds. Toyota often requires 5. GM usually needs 3. Listen for a chime or watch for the door locks to cycle, indicating programming mode is active. Press any button on the fob. The car should respond with a lock cycle confirming the pairing. Turn the ignition off to exit. This is literally the same process dealers use. They just do it with a fancy screen in front of them and charge you handsomely for the privilege. Number 12. The ABS warning light. Clearing. The anti-lock braking system light strikes fear into drivers, but it is frequently triggered by something absurdly simple. A bit of dirt or rust on a wheel speed sensor, slightly low brake fluid level, a momentary electrical hiccup during startup. Your regular brakes still work perfectly when the ABS light is on. It just means the anti-lock function might not activate in an emergency. Disconnect the battery for 30 minutes and reconnect. If the light comes back, turn the key to on without starting and rapidly pump the brake pedal 20 to 30 times until it feels firm. This sometimes recalibrates the pressure sensor in the ABS module. You can also try driving slowly in a straight line and gently braking, which triggers the ABS self-test. At least 50% of ABS warning lights are caused by transient electrical issues that a simple reset solves. Number 11. The climate control system. Reset hot air blasting from one vent while the other blows cold. A C putting out warm air when it is set to maximum cold. Mysterious clicking or tapping noises from behind the dashboard every time you adjust the temperature. The blend door actuators have lost their calibration. These are small motors inside the dashboard that direct airflow through different temperature paths. Disconnect the battery for about 5 minutes, reconnect, turn the ignition on, and set a specific temperature. You will hear the actuators cycling behind the dashboard, moving through their full range to find their home positions. Let the process complete without changing any settings, usually 30 seconds to a minute. On many Ford and Chrysler vehicles, holding the defrost button and the floor button simultaneously triggers a self-diagnostic recalibration. That annoying clicking noise, gone, the uneven temperatures, fixed. And you did not pay the $200 to $400 most shops quote for a blend door actuator replacement that was never actually needed. Number 10. The electronic parking brake reset. Modern electronic parking brakes can get confused after brake pad changes, battery disconnects, or random software glitches. The brake might not release fully, might apply randomly, or might throw a warning light. On many vehicles, the reset is quick. Turn the ignition on, hold the parking brake release switch for about 10 seconds while pressing the brake pedal firmly. The system recalibrates its engagement and disengagement points. On Volkswagen and Audi models, cycle the parking brake through a full apply and release sequence 3 times. BMW usually needs you to hold the button up for about 20 seconds. The caliper motor is relearning where fully applied and fully released positions are. Dealers charge $75 to $200 for this. Takes about 1 minute. Number 9. The infotainment system. Hard reset touchscreen frozen, lagging, showing the wrong time, refusing to pair with your phone via Bluetooth. Before scheduling a dealer appointment at $100 to $300 for a software update, try a hard reset. On most systems, hold the power button for 10 to 20 seconds until the screen goes completely black, then release. No power button? Try holding the volume knob and tuning knob simultaneously for 10 seconds. Ford Sync uses the forward track button and power button together. Chrysler U-Connect responds to both temperature buttons held at the same time. If absolutely nothing works, pull the infotainment fuse from the fuse box for about a minute. This cuts power entirely and forces a cold reboot. It is the exact automotive equivalent of unplugging your Wi-Fi router and plugging it back in. Number 8. The automatic headlight sensor recalibration. Your automatic headlights are not turning on when they should, or they are flickering on and off annoyingly during the day. Before replacing the sensor at over $200, find the small ambient light sensor on top of your dashboard near the base of the windshield. Wipe it clean with a dry microfiber cloth. If you recently had a windshield replacement, check that nothing is blocking or covering the sensor. Then do a battery disconnect for 15 minutes. After reconnecting, drive from a bright area into a dark one, like a parking garage, and back out again. The sensor recalibrates its light thresholds during this transition. Many drivers have paid for a brand new sensor when all it needed was a quick wipe and a reset. Number 7. The seatbelt warning chime adjustment. This is more of a quality of life fix, but it drives a lot of people crazy, especially when something heavy on the passenger seat keeps triggering the weight sensor. On most GM vehicles, sit with the key in the on position without starting the engine. Buckle and unbuckle the driver's seatbelt 3 times within 20 seconds, ending with the belt unbuckled. A single confirming chime should sound, indicating the setting changed. Ford uses a similar buckle-unbuckle sequence combined with ignition cycling. This is a legitimate factory feature built into many vehicles. It adjusts the audible chime only and does not disable the visual warning light. Check your owner manual under chime or belt minder settings before spending money on aftermarket solutions. Number 6. The oxygen sensor readiness reset. Failed your emissions test even though the car runs perfectly fine? Incredibly common after clearing codes or disconnecting the battery. The readiness monitors all reset to not ready status, and the emission station cannot pass you until they complete their self-tests. The solution is a drive cycle. Start cold, idle for 2 to 3 minutes, drive at 25 miles per hour for a few minutes, smoothly accelerate to 55 and cruise for 3 to 5 minutes, then coast down without touching the brakes to about 20 miles per hour. Park and idle for 2 more minutes. This lets every single monitor run its diagnostic test. The whole thing takes about 30 minutes and saves you retest fees, diagnostic charges, and a whole lot of frustration at the inspection station. Number 5. The convertible top position. Reset. Convertible top stuck halfway, refusing to operate, or the motor runs but nothing actually moves. The position sensor likely lost calibration after a battery change. Manually close and fully latch the top, then press and hold the close button for 15 to 20 seconds past the fully closed position. Open the top completely and hold for 15 more seconds. Cycle open to closed 3 to 5 times. The motor relearns its travel limits and the sensors recalibrate their position references. Without this, dealerships will suggest motor or sensor replacement at anywhere from $500 to over $2,000. Try the reset first. It works far more often than mechanics like to admit. Number 4. The cruise control ghost fix. Cruise control will not engage or it disengages randomly while you are driving. Before assuming you need a new module, check the brake lights. If they are staying on even with your foot off the pedal, a sticky brake light switch is the problem. The cruise system thinks you are braking and refuses to engage. That is a $5 part you can swap yourself in about 10 minutes. If the brake lights are fine, disconnect the battery for 30 minutes and let the cruise module recalibrate with everything else. Also check the clock spring connection in the steering column, especially if you recently had any steering work done. A loose ribbon cable connector is one of the most overlooked causes of cruise control failure, and it costs absolutely nothing to push it back in. Number 3, the transmission limp mode escape. This one is a big deal. Your car suddenly refuses to shift out of second or third gear, engine revving high, acceleration painfully slow, warning light glaring from the dashboard. That is limp mode, and it sounds catastrophic. But a huge percentage of limp mode activations are triggered by minor electrical glitches, a temporary sensor blip, or a brief dip in fluid pressure that already corrected itself. The transmission is often perfectly fine. Safely pull over, put the car in park, turn the engine completely off. Wait a full minute. Restart. In many cases, the transmission shifts normally again. If that does not work, disconnect the battery for 15 minutes, reconnect, and restart. If the transmission stays normal through several driving sessions afterward, you just avoided what could have been a $3,000 to $6,000 rebuild that was never needed. Some mechanics will quote a full rebuild the moment they hear limp mode without ever trying a reset first. Number 2, the airbag warning light reset after battery work. You swapped your battery, and now the airbag light is glaring at you. The supplemental restraint system flagged a voltage interruption during the disconnect and stored a fault code. On many Nissan and Infiniti models, there is a specific key cycling sequence. Turn the ignition to on and watch the airbag light. As soon as it turns off, usually about 7 seconds, quickly turn the ignition off. Wait 3 seconds. Repeat this on-off cycle a total of 3 times, then start the car normally. The light should be gone. On other vehicles, a 30-minute battery disconnect handles it. If the light keeps returning, check the connectors under the front seats. These sensor plugs come loose surprisingly easily during battery work when you brush against them. 9 times out of 10, it is a loose connection or a stored power interruption code, not a defective airbag. That saves you $200 to $300 on what dealers call an SRS, diagnostic and reset service. Number 1, the full system drive cycle reboot. This is the ultimate reset. Everything combined into a single comprehensive procedure that touches virtually every electronic system in your car at once. 0 tools, $0. Here is how it works. Disconnect the negative battery terminal. Touch the 2 cable ends together for a full 60 seconds to drain all stored electrical charge from every module in the vehicle. Reconnect the battery. Turn the key to the on position without starting the engine and wait 2 full minutes, letting all modules power up and initialize. Now start the engine and let it idle for 5 minutes with everything off. No AC, no radio, no lights. The engine computer is establishing its baseline idle calibration. Now drive at about 25 miles per hour for 2 minutes. Smoothly accelerate to 45 and cruise for 5 minutes. Then reach 60 miles per hour and hold for another 5 minutes. Coast down to 30 without touching the brakes. Come to a complete stop and idle for 2 final minutes. During this drive, your engine computer relearned its fuel trims. The transmission recalibrated its shift points, the tire pressure sensors recalibrated, the steering angle sensor found its 0 point, and every single readiness monitor ran its self-test. By the end of this 30-minute drive, your car has essentially given itself a complete electronic tune-up from scratch. This is the exact procedure certified technicians perform after major service work, and they charge hundreds of dollars in labor. You just did it on your way to the grocery store. And that is a wrap. 25 genius reset tricks that mechanics genuinely do not want you to know about. The next time your car starts acting up and a dashboard light comes on, try these resets before you panic and drive straight to the shop. You would be amazed how many problems are just electronic glitches that disappear with a simple reset. Did any of these save you money? Got a reset trick we missed? Drop it in the comments below because we always love hearing your stories. If this helped you out, go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another money-saving tip. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.